Hi, today we are here going to discuss something about vaccines. What are vaccines? Vaccines are basically artificial form of immunity, and artificial form of immunity, when we are giving our body our artificial form of immunity, we are basically terming it as immunization. Vaccination is a process by which immunization is done, or immunization is done through vaccination. The term vaccine comes from vaccinia, which is the term from the Latin language, which also means cow. And what are the constituents of vaccination? Vaccinations generally contain heat killed or weakened microorganisms, or generally sometimes whole organisms also, but in attenuated form. Attenuated means the weakened form. So, based on the type of antigen used, there are types of vaccination. Number one, whole organism vaccination. In whole organism vaccination, the complete organism is used to cause virulence, and not virulence, but basically whole organism is used uh, to create vaccination or to create vaccine. So in this whole organism kind of vaccination, the whole organism or the complete organism is attenuated or weakened, which is not causing any pathogenicity, but the complete structure of the organism is maintained. So, what happens in this case? There are some chances that these whole organisms are getting back to their virulent form. So, this kind of vaccination is generally risky one. In other types of vaccination, we are having inactivated vaccines. In inactivated kind of vaccines, what happens? We heat kill the microorganism, or we generally chemically treat the microorganism. So what happens in this case? The microorganisms are getting destroyed completely in case of heat killed microorganism, because there are certain proteins which are getting destroyed in this case. And we know that to create immune response, our immune cells recognize certain kind of molecules on the antigen. So these molecules on the antigens are often epitopes. So epitopes are also getting destroyed in this case. In the heat killed or chemically treatment, the epitopes are getting destroyed, and purpose of the vaccination is getting failed in this case. The other kind of vaccination is live but attenuated, and vaccines are prepared by attenuating the pathogenic organism. So, in this case, the pathogenicity of the organism is getting lost, but there are chances of growth of organism. The organism keep growing, and the capability of growth of the organism is retained. The vaccine has a prolonged immunogenicity, and so no longer booster doses are required, because microorganism is growing inside the body and booster dose is not needed in this case. But there is a chance that organism is getting back to their virulent form. But in heat killed organism, those are ineffective ones. But there was no chance of getting the virus, or the microorganism getting back to its virulent form or toxic form. So there is a comparison between the attenuated and the inactivated vaccines. So what are the comparisons? The comparisons are done on the basis of certain points. These points are: number one, booster dosage. So we know in attenuated vaccine we always require booster dose. But in inactivated vaccine, multiple booster doses are required. In attenuated one, there is requirement of only single or no booster dose. But in inactivated ones, there are number of booster doses which are required to maintain the effect. Second one is the relative stability. The attenuated vaccines are less stable, but the inactivated vaccines are much more stable than the attenuated ones. Third one is reversion to its virulent form. They may revert back to virulent form. Which one? Attenuated one. Attenuated or weakened one may get revert back to in virulent form, or they get back their strength. And in activated vaccine, because we are using killed microorganism, there is no chance of microorganism to get back to virulent form. There are certain other kinds of vaccines also. Uh, Examples are purified antigen vaccines, or we also say subunit vaccine. What happens in this case? We are not using complete microorganism in this case. Rather, we use certain kind of exotoxins produced by them, or we can use capsule or polysaccharide layer or other part of the microorganism to create vaccines. So in this case also there is no virulence because we are not using complete microorganism, and there is no chance of getting microorganism turning the toxic to our body. Other one is conjugate vaccine. In conjugate vaccines, what is done, why it is why we are calling them as conjugate vaccine. In case of conjugate vaccine, we join the two parts of antigens. One is weakened one and one is stronger one. So it is basically to create uh, more immune response for the weakened microorganism. In the recombinant subunit vaccines, what happens? Gene encoding the surface antigens are taken, like viral, bacterial, or protozoa pathogens have been taken, and it is being cloned. In genetic vaccines, what happens? There are fragments of pathogen genome which are encoding antigen proteins are injected directly into the host cells, where they integrate and they can exist as episomes. In recombinant vector vaccines, what happens? Antigen from pathogen are inserted to non-virulent virus or bacteria, and the recombinant microbes act as vectors, replicating within a host and expressing a gene product of pathogen that is encoding antigenic proteins. Examples of recombinant factor vaccines are vaccinia virus, canary virus, polio virus, etc. And the other kind of vaccination, when we are not getting vaccinated, what kind of vaccination is it? It is also termed as herd immunity. Herd immunity is that kind of immunity. You have often heard this term. Basically in times of coronavirus, that everybody is getting herd immunity, or some people are getting saved due to herd immunity. So basically, what is herd immunity? Herd, in case of herd immunity, what happens? The people which are getting vaccinated are indirectly protecting those people from getting disease which are not vaccinated. So this kind of immunity, when we are providing to a population, this kind of immunity is often termed as herd immunity. So this was something about vaccination, and we will always get something new in detail, and we will get the details of vaccination and other topics also in further videos. Keep joining.